Greetings and salutations, Master Hughes and Robinson, all the way in Switzerland. And you tuning into the Black House Radio. And you listen to it. Greetings and salutations, Master Hughes and Robinson, all the way in Switzerland. And you're tuning into the Black House Fire Radio. And you're listening to the African Diary Show with Cathy. Massive. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Italians. Matalano Kamaka. Yeah. You know what it is. It's a gangster day. Yeah. Are you ready for this? Listen. Kama ni maji. Kata, 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 kata. Kama ni shash. Washa, 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 washa. Hiyo kiuno. Kata, 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 kata. Washa this. Washa, 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 washa. Sitaki stress, labda dishi na madrinks tu. Moshi mingi, macho zinakuwa chinku. Nishajipin pako mbili tu za kondiko. I see through the lies, ukitaka doza P2. Rende, wrong, game long kwenye zone. I'm not kidding. The game on, hapa haya echelon is the slim black king on the throne. I'm back kinging. Lil dry baby, hakuna cha mixer. Painting, I could be your fixer. Nice to meet your sister, mindo mister. Na vile warombosa, aki nitapata blister. Nafaa kwenda nani sahi. Usifosi buda hi-fi. Bariki msinga kwanza kadivai. Ni kudance paka shoke yake misikai. Kama ni maji.
Good morning. Yes, karibuni sana to the oh my god, to the vibe show, to the African Diary Show. I hope you're well. It's actually afternoon, 20 minutes to 3 p.m. right here in the 254. Karibu sana Frederick Otieno. Hoping you've had a wonderful weekend. But karibuni sana once again to the African Diary Show, and I'm hoping that this Monday is finding you at great health and at peace as well. Karibuni sana once again. On today's episode, we shall be discussing different matters coming from the African countries or the African continent at large. Nasema niko ndani. Thank you very much. Shout out to all those who are just joining us from Facebook, from YouTube, and on TikTok. In case you're joining us for the first time, kindly consider subscribing to our channel. In case you're joining us for the first time on TikTok, kindly consider following us and also becoming one of our own right here. Yes, the African Diary Show, in case you're joining us for the first time, it's always about matters concerning the African countries. And especially the day-to-day activities of the African people. And as we get started with our show for today, we started off with an amazing jam done by Tyler Mill. This is one of our person or one of the people we have hosted right here on the Blackout Fire Network. We actually hosted him last week on Friday on the Vibe Show, and the jam is called Gangster Party. It's all about partying, and you remember we are in December. I hear so many people calling it a drink December, but anyway, in case you're just beginning with your party mode, make sure you're partying accordingly, and also you are careful of what you are doing. But anyway, getting into the matters of the day, we shall be discussing about Zambia and the illegal mining that has resulted to a number of people being trapped in a mine. And this is an illegal mine. It's so crazy because I'm seeing a lorry that belongs to the Chinese constructors standing on the illegal mine. So we shall be discussing about that and more of what is happening in Africa. I am seeing that the UN Security Council has voted to end Somalia arms embargo after 3 decades. And we shall get to see more about this because we know they are responsible of whatever has been happening in Africa. Also, I have seen a Kenyan troop or a Kenyan government is withdrawing its troop from the DR Congo. And this is a great move because remember, at the end of the day, if these people went there to keep peace, they have failed. So come back home where your people need you. You have failed Africans, you have failed your fellow Kenyans. So come back and just mind your own business in Kenya, because the more we are seeing them there, the more the people in DR Congo are continuing to be attacked. But remember, those are some of the matters we shall be discussing today. So please make sure you keep it the Black Hot Fire Network. Don't touch that dial as we get into the matters of the day. And as I told you, we started off our show with an amazing jam that was Gangster Party done by Tyler Mill, and we shall get back to one more jam. This is Bossy, still done by Tyler Mill. I hope you get to jam onto it, and remember to come back with your quote of the day. This is Bossy once again. Get to jam onto it, and remember to keep it interactive with me right here.
You really know. Listen. Jana ni moshi ndo maana mimi nachoma. Nita hustle ama nitasoma. Ni boy child. Pesa ulika lakini sitalia mtu kwa mtaji boss king but azona nazidi kutiti na bunga michini tashindilia. Mimi nitalinda nikichona linda. Kisha nitakadinda nimesare hima wataringa day nitabai dinga. Tylo son of a soldier cook boy line na masoda. Oda chumini na ngoja bicha kama ni right kama boda. Ugali namba moja ukidai beef jua niko manchis itabidi uongeze ugali na mboga. Hey. Moyo piga damu acha mambo ya mapenzi najenga.
My quote of the day says, we cannot become what we want by remaining where we are. We cannot become what we want by remaining where we are today.
Shorty drop it to the floor, yeah, she drop it. She does a kidosi. We bossy. Look who sasa kuma. We flossy. Kama story nyamado, misikosi. Shorty drop it to the floor, yeah, she drop it. She does a kidosi. Is it real? Ama ni uongo. Kapenda kengeza boya kaita chongo. Hit nikispit niko lit paka bongo. Rumble in the jungle utadhani ni
all the way but you're not. And you're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio, and you're listening to African Diary Show with Passion. That's it.
Yes, welcome back to the African Diary Show. We're just getting started of the day, and before we get even into that, I want us to listen to some speech that was given by Burkinabe president, that is Ibrahim Traore, and he's regarding to the resources we have in Africa, especially gold, and he has been talking about how we we Africans, we have never benefited from it. But right now, he's making a move unto which Burkina Faso and other African countries will be benefiting from the gold, because this is one of the biggest resources we have as African countries. And, it's so sad to see that we as African countries, we are impoverished to a point that we don't even know the worth of the resources we have. So I want to share my screen real quick so that we get to hear his speech, and then we shall get to more other conversation. And also, if you have something to add on top of that, you can as well let us know, because you remember there was a time I came here and I promised you and I told you, look, or give Burkina Faso and Niger 2 years. This will be the best economically doing African countries. And look at what they are doing right now. Look at Niger right now. They have signed an oil deal. Look at Burkina Faso. They have signed a gold deal. Look at what these two countries are doing right now. They are actually doing the best compared to other African countries. And by the fact that these people are fully independent right now, the country is going well. The government is working in favor of its citizens. They are actually benefiting from their resources. And we are about to see more of this in most of the African countries, because during the weekend, there was an attempted coup in Guinea-Bissau. I will not talk about that because Joby already talked about this. And remember also, last week, we saw an attempted coup in Sierra Leone, where we said that yes, that was a failed attempted coup. But do you know what Africans will do? They will always keep on pushing onto what they want. And this is a sign that people are already tired. The Sierra Leoneans are already tired enough. The Guinea-Bissau people are already tired enough. And I'm so glad to see this, and I'm so happy to see this, because it shows that the revolution is almost starting. It shows that now there's a hope of African countries. But anyway, I had promised you to share this video by Ibrahim Traore. He's talking about gold, and he's talking about how African countries should benefit from the gold that it produces, or from the gold that is in its soil. So let's listen to his speech, and then we shall come back and talk about it. And also, in case you have something to add on top, kindly make sure you keep it interactive with me. I see there is someone here with me. There's Frederick Otieno. Shout out to you, Otieno. Frank Murphy, asante sana for joining me and to me and on button. Why does he think that gold will start benefiting us as African countries? This is my video. I hope you guys can see my screen. Let me confirm if you guys can see my screen. And okay, still loading. Okay, there it is. Okay, here is my video.
A lot of gold flows out of Burkina fraudulently, and that helps fuel. We're inviting gold miners, collectors, and others to bring their gold to the headquarters.
Welcome to Candid Africa, truthful and unapologetic.
It will no longer be a question of taking our gold abroad for refining. We will refine it locally, and we will know the real content of the raw gold that comes out. That's very important. A lot of gold flows out of Burkina fraudulently, and that helps fuel terrorism. So, we're inviting gold miners, collectors, and others to bring their gold to the headquarters. At the same time, we're inviting some now high the number of counters so that they can collect the gold. The need for healthcare services is very urgent. This is also a context of war, but we have chosen to pursue both war and development. It is this need for quality care that has led us to initiate this project here in the Southwest. The people of the Southwest have been waiting for this moment for a long time, and I believe that a turnkey quality hospital will be provided, allowing all necessary care to take place on site. It is a desire to replicate this kind of project in different regions to to enhance the technical capabilities of doctors. We have quality, whether it is in our nurses or doctors, but often the necessary equipment is lacking. I think this project will serve as an example to perpetuate this approach in other regions.
À ne céder au territoire à ces barbares, à ces terroristes. Je voudrais qu'ensemble, nous saluions pour
Well, that is the speech I wanted us to listen to, and it shows that now Traore has a great future of Burkina Faso figured out. And this is so good because one, he's signing deals with African countries, and two, he's trying on improving Burkina Faso economy. And this is a great thing because remember, this is the only country right now, or we have only two countries that we know very well in Africa. They are not under a certain European, no matter what help they are getting from the Russians, but they are doing the things they want independently. And look at their economy right now. They have started growing. And within a blink of an eye, we shall see these countries rising and becoming the stars of Africa. Why? Because they have their freedom. But what I'm saying is that Traore was the best leader, and I'm hoping he's the best, and he will continue being the best. I hope he doesn't get bought on the way, because we see young people coming with ambitions and the urge of maintaining that ambitious note they had. And at the end of the day, they meet these political people that buys them and buys their intelligence, and also buys their the dust to quench the things their people wanted, and they get up now mixed up, and they end up now figuring their lives out, not the people's lives out. But I'm hoping for Burkina Faso, or for the Burkinabe people, they continue the same way. And for Ibrahim Traore, he continues doing what is best for his citizens, because at the end of the day, the country right now is really doing good. And compared to other African countries under puppet rule, we can tell the difference. We can tell even how free the country is. And he's a very young person, so we can say this is the revolution, and we are just giving it an year. We're just giving this country an year, so that we get to see the economy. And we are sure, 100% sure, that the economy of that country will be doing the best. And Niger and Burkina Faso's economy, they will be the best in Africa compared to other puppet-led states. But I see Frederick is saying, I think it's not just the future in Burkina Faso, but in Africa. Yeah, it is in Africa, because right now he is leading and organizing in ways how African countries can work together. And we have seen he's signing deals with African countries that are going to help his people and, of course, African people. So at the end of the day, it is African people who are going to benefit from this. And the question is, are we ready to unite as Africans? Because we have seen most of the time, when we're trying to unite, we have so many Africans thinking that, these are from Burkina Faso, these are from Kenya, we can never be the same. And also the tribal nonsense we have, the tribal the tribal aspect we have as African people. Are we ready to get rid of that? Because that is the biggest question. I've seen so many people saying that I cannot work with this because they come from this country. Are we ready to get rid of that mindset? Because we need to be united as African nations. But away from that, I want us to go on to other different matters, and this is about something that is being talked about by the UN, and this is something to do with Somali and arms. And the UN Security Council has voted, or is set to vote, to end Somalia arms embargo after 3 decades. And I'm like, yes, please, this is what we want as African nations. Stop giving us these firearms. These firearms are the ones that are killing our people. These firearms are the ones that are finishing our nations. Right now, we have Somalia has been hit by these jihadis for the longest time, the Islamic militants. We have Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda. But where do you think these arms come from? It's the UN. Yeah, they give them the arms because, tell me, I was seeing a certain movie how terrorists get recruited. You come to me, I'm very poor. Of course, you'll buy me by the fact that you're offering money. And then you go and recruit me to become a terrorist. I didn't have anything. I don't have money to buy firearms. So you give me the firearms for free because I'm working for you. This is how these people get recruited in these jihadist or terrorist groups. So the United Nations Council is due to vote on Friday to remove final restrictions on weapons deliveries to Somalia's government and its security forces, diplomats said, more than 30 years after an arms embargo was first imposed on the country. The council put the embargo on Somalia in 1992 to cut the flow of weapons to feuding warlords who had ousted dictator Muhammad Said Barre and plunged the Horn of Africa country into civil war. But do you think that this is a civil war that is always happening in Somalia? Nobody even in Africa right now, if you'd go outside right here and ask people, do you want to visit Somalia? No. Why? Because of terrorism, insecurity. But you cannot tell me that this is a civil war. This is not a civil war. This is terrorism. So stop stop giving lies and stop feeding lies to the people of Africa and making Africans think that in Somalia it is a civil war. This has never been a civil war. It's not a civil war. It's terrorism and insecurity that is plaguing that country. It is not civil wars. It is not. Tell me, no, it doesn't make sense by the fact that they are saying this is a civil war or what has been happening in Somalia is a civil war. Al-Shabaab and Al-Qaeda, not Somalians. They are. So you want to mean they are fighting for something that is in Somalia, of which we've never known. Of course, it doesn't make sense by the fact that these people come to us, give us false news, and we're supposed to believe it, and we are the people on the ground. It doesn't make sense by them coming and telling us this is a civil war. It is not a civil war. This has never been a civil war. In Somalia, we know it is terrorism. It is terrorism. And why is the UN giving firearms to Somalia at first? Because that doesn't make sense. Why has it been giving firearms to Somalia? It doesn't make sense because, one, the firearms would be going to the national army. Okay? The firearms, if the embargo was set and everything, they signed the whole thing, the firearms should go to the national army. But what has been happening, these firearms land on the wrong hands. And by the fact that we know what UN does in Africa, we're not surprised to see so many Al-Shabaab groups and Al-Qaeda groups destabilizing Somalia. And remember, Somalia is rich in oil. So there are more questions than answers, so it doesn't make sense. And the 15-member body is due to adopt 2 British drafted resolutions on Friday. Diplomats said one to remove the full arms embargo on Somalia and another to reimpose an arms embargo on the Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab group. One of the draft resolutions spells out for the avoidance of doubt that here is no arms embargo on government of the Federal Republic of Somalia. It also expresses concern about the number of safe ammunition storage facilities in Somalia and encourages the construction and refurbishment and use of safe ammunition depots across Somalia. It urges other countries to help. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So Somali is set to build safe ammunition and storage facilities for the arms. You don't need those firearms. Okay, you need them maybe to fight the terrorists, but why are you being given them as donations? You don't need donation for firearms. These people, okay, they come. They donate everything. They donate food. They donate firearms. Why do they donate firearms? They want your country to be stable, but why are they giving you arms, weapons? It's to continue with the destabilization, because once once a person attacks you and you attack them back, it becomes a war. But when a person attacks and there's no other person to attack them back, this is not a war. It's not a war. So it doesn't make sense. But anyway, Al-Shabaab has been waging a brutal insurgency at the Somalia government since 2006 to try establish its own rule based on a strict interpretation of Islamic Sharia law. Somalia's government had long asked for the arms embargo to be removed, so it could beef up its sources to take on the militants. The UNSC began to partially start lifting measures on Somalia's security forces in 2013, and President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud said last week that Somalia has 1 year to expel Al-Shabaab, with the deadline for remaining African Union peacekeepers to leave alarming next December. So it doesn't make sense, and for me, I believe you don't need firearms from different nations, especially the UN. You don't need that. If you need aid, you need aid from people or African countries. But now getting firearms or getting weapons from the UN, they will come with a claim that we gave you firearms, we gave you weaponry. And at the end of the day, remember, right now they are saying that you should build a safe place to keep those arms. And once they land, they might even attack those safes and get those firearms. And the arms get to the Al-Shabaab. And with everything, with the UN, everything is possible. It's reporting on it. It's always the one getting to know what is happening in Africa, but it's always the one not keeping peace in Africa, while we know that clearly they say that they are peacekeepers. Good morning to you too, Jibajaba. Thank you very much for joining us. You're saying, Katie, it's 7 a.m. here. Have a good day. Have a good day to you too, Jibajaba, and thank you very much for joining me. Shout out to DJ Rom Zero and Asante Sana for joining us, and to all those who are just joining us for the first time. And Karibuni Sana, keep it interactive with us and do let us know what are your thoughts regarding the conversations we are having right here. So I'm talking about the weaponry and the arms we get from the UN, and it's actually the US government, surprisingly, but it's not a surprise. But at the end of the day, do you feel like we need such? We don't need them, because at the end of the day, these firearms, why do they donate firearms? Why do they give us firearms and weapons? It doesn't make sense by the fact that these people, they come, they give us everything and the firearms as well. And when terrorism continues, they come and say that, there's terrorism and those terrorists have heavy weapons. Well, these weapons are coming from them. They are not coming from us. We don't make firearms in Africa. We don't. But anyway, shout out to General Mosquito. Greetings to you too. Hey, nowadays you're calling me Jerry. It's okay. Greetings to you too, General Mosquito, and thank you very much. Shout out to Ayodi Isigi, Asante Sana for joining me, and to all those who are just joining us. And in conclusion of that story, as African people, we clearly don't need such arms coming from the UN and other continents, because if we are supposed to deal with our problems, we should not need them at all. Those are African problems, and we should deal with them in Africa. Yeah, That is what I'd say. And as far as now, there's a war in Africa, and there's a lot happening in Africa. Remember, our enemy is one. We have one common enemy. The enemy is one. And if we include the enemy on the mission, we will always never win as African people. If the enemy is in the mission, if the enemy knows your plans, you will never win. You will never win, and you'll never conquer whatever you want. But anyway, moving on to different matters. Still in Africa, and this is our main focus of the day. And this is so sad. It is so sad to talk about this. It was last month we were talking about trapped miners in South Africa. And right now, today we are talking about trapped miners in an illegal mining site in Zambia. You know what is sad? It's because in this illegal mine, I'm seeing a lorry that we always see right here in Kenya, written China Wuyi. So these illegal mining sites belong to a Chinese. And you know what is happening? It is an illegal mining site, but it has been declared illegal just because there are miners who are blocked there, who are trapped there. This is so sad. Shout out to Elnet, Karibu Sana, Ustadi, the laughing master, Karibu Sana, and thank you very much for tapping the screen. Make sure you continue. And yes, I'm talking about this. This is a Chinese lorry I'm seeing here. But anyway, Zambian officials have said they have been unable to locate dozens of illegal miners believed to be trapped after a mudslide at an open cast copper mine on Friday. The accident in Zambia's northern copper belt province occurred after heavy rains. Rescue teams have been pumping water from the underground pit at the steel mine in Chingola, but have not made contact with the miners. Man, this is so crazy. And you know, the next thing we shall hear is that these people, their bodies were gotten from the site and none was alive. No one was rescued alive. This is so sad. And they're actually saying that this is an illegal mine. They are saying illegal miners, but they are not saying illegal mine. But we can clearly see this lorry right here belongs to Chinese companies. Because, you know, let me show you something right here. We have always seen these lorries in Africa, in Kenya, especially in Kenya. This is when I got to know that these lorries are Chinese owned. Let me show you right here, China Wuyi. Let me show you right here, right now. Okay, so guys, tell me how these lorries are different. A minute. They are always the same. I even didn't notice that these lorries are always the same. But anyway, let me share my screen real quick. It's so crazy to see this. And right now they are saying the illegal miners, but they are not saying the company they are working for, because this company, it's a Chinese company. This is a Chinese company. It's not. This is not okay. This is the lorry. I'll get to show you the shown on that illegal mining site. So this is the lorry, and these are the lorries we've always seen the Chinese operating with in Africa. China Wuyi. So let me go back to my image right here and show you what I'm seeing. So here is it is. This is the same lorry. Tell me, are they different? They are not. This is a Chinese lorry. Nobody can tell me otherwise because I know this is a Chinese lorry. But the miners are the illegal miners. But the company that they are working for is not illegal. You know how sad that is? And to know very well that now our people are losing their lives and nobody is being held accountable for, and the government officials goes ahead and says that these people are illegal miners, and we know very well they are working under somebody. Why is that truck there? Why is that truck there? Go and look that truck. Who under whose name is it registered at? And then you're busy calling those Africans, those Zambian men and women, we don't know the gender yet, but of course we have so many men over there, illegal miners. But you cannot even go and look who are their bosses. I believe those mineral sites, they are not just randomly opened. It's so crazy to see this, that now nobody has talked about the company owners. Nobody has talked about who these people are working for. They are always talking about illegal miners. So I am an illegal miner. I was looking for maybe food. I want money, of course. We all want money. But there's the main culprit in this. There's the main boss. There's a boss who never goes into those pits, who never goes into those mine sites, into those holes. And it's always Africans dying. Remember, in South Africa, we had dozens of people trapped there because there was a feud between the miners and the companies. Imagine. Now the consequence of having people battling, the company battling, is the people being blocked in those mine sites. This is so crazy. But these people are being called illegal miners, but the company is not illegal miner. But the people inside there who are trapped, who might even die, who might not even come out alive, are the illegal miners. Remember, those people went out from their houses in the morning, just like we all do, hoping to come back. In the morning, hoping to get money and maybe buy food for their families. But they are trapped just because a Chinese man, a Chinese whomever came out and decided, okay, we're stealing minerals in this country and there's a mine site here. And of course, the government must be collaborating with them. And this is why we see the company is not named, but the people in there are the illegal miners. Why is it like that? There's a truck standing there. There's a truck over there. But nobody is bothered about who owns the truck. They are on the, and they are not even in a hurry to rescue those people. They are saying they are trying to remove water from the pits, but they have not gotten into contact with those people trapped there. They are not even bothered. It is so crazy. It is so crazy. And Africans, we should see how we have been subjected. Let me use this word Jiba Jaba has used right now. We have been sabotaged, or we have been subjected to self-sabotage. When a white man comes to our country, he wants laborers. We will go running, not even minding our safety, not even minding if this mine site is registered, if this person is mining under legal circumstances or under legal notes. But when you die there, you sometimes your body might never be seen. Your family is waiting for you at home. It's so sad. This is so sad. And the Zambian government, shame on you. Shame on you. We know very well you must be collaborating with these people. And this is why you are saying that your own citizens are illegal miners, but you're not even concerned about the company that has employed those people. Believe me, those people are not there for their own. They are not there on their own. This is a company, and the company is the owner of that truck. But nobody is bothered. Nobody is bothered about that. But anyway, Jabba says one word: sabotage. A truck can't move with the sugar in the gas tank. Very true. Shout out to Derek Askew. Thank you very much for joining me. And Jabba is saying sand in the crank case. etc. It looks like a man or a Kamaza, a brand truck, China and Russian built equipment. That is a China truck. In Kenya, we have 1 million of those operating, and they are always carrying things which we're not sure about, but most of the time they claim this is sand, it is building equipment. Yes. But we even not sure if these are our minerals. And of course they are. If you seen that truck over there, what was it doing? It was waiting for the gold for it to transport it. So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense when Africans, we're subjected to self-sabotage in our own countries, working for these people, working for these companies. But when we get to a point that we are losing our lives, we were the ones on the wrong. Remember, you're just a hustler. You woke up with a goal of bringing food back to your family. But you ended up not getting back. But you are the one on the wrong while you are dying. Well, your life is at stake. But the government comes and says that you are the one on the wrong. So this means that I'm supposed to die. Okay, I'm on the wrong. I was an illegal miner. So this means that I'm supposed to die. Does this mean that I'm supposed to die like this? It's so sad. Sometimes it's so sad when you get to talk about such things. Shout out to Mzales and Sean. Thank you very much for joining us. And Jibba is saying some ignorant of shows China man a rock and its game of on for exploration. And also you're saying we need education and self-respect to control our resources. Yeah, that is what we need. And shout out to Burkinabe president again. This is Burkina Faso president Ibrahim Traore. And this is what he's trying to teach onto African youth. And I'm so glad we have a man like that in Africa who is thinking about the Africa, who is thinking about the resources we've never benefited from. Jibba continues on saying that we need education and self-respect. I read that. And also you're saying instead of bandits holding up matadoza, hold up these damn trucks. I believe they should be banned. They should. Because most of the time you'll find them on the roads, causing traffic. And you wonder what they are carrying there. It's most of the time on, if you try to peep, it's always sand, soil, and the bricks. And they claim it's for roads. Sometimes you might look for a place where they're building the roads, but you'll not see anywhere. But they are carrying sand and cement and everything. It's so crazy. These lorries or these trucks are the ones being used to steal our resources from us. But you know the saddest part is I'm thinking about the life of these Zambians. Maybe they have already died because remember it's raining heavily. Maybe they have already died, and this is why nobody is concerned about them. And the saddest part is that the government is coming to claim that these people are illegal miners instead of even starting with helping them and let them face the consequences of now being illegal miners. And also answer the question, who are you working under, or who are you working for? Because these people are not on their own. These people are not working on their own. And this is so sad. It is so sad. I feel sorry for their families because you will hear it will take, right now it's almost 5 days. Imagine. Yet they are still underground. They are trapped. It's so crazy. But anyway, rescue teams have been pumping water from the underground pits at the Cecil mine in Chingola, but have not made contact with the miners. President Hakainde Hichilema, who arrived back on Sunday from the COP28 conference in Dubai, said he was saddened by the heartbreaking situation. He sent his thoughts and prayers to affected families, adding that government efforts were being directed towards the rescue efforts. The Vice President Mutale Nalumango said the incident at the Cecil mine was a disaster. It even has a name, but now when it comes to the miners, they are illegal. It doesn't make sense. But rescue efforts are continuing. Illegal mining is common in Zambia, one of the world's largest copper producers. It is so sad. It is so sad. We are hoping they come to the rescue of those who are trapped over there. But most of the time, you'll find that these people will be found dead. And it's so sad. It's so sad to digest this. Imagine you just woke up, you are from your family, and you're like, you didn't come back, or your family is just waiting for you. And right now they have the hope of you being rescued from a mining site where you are trapped. I Yes, and we were talking about the situation of illegal mining in Zambia, and it is not only happening in Zambia. And the worst part is that now the one that is mining is an illegal miner, and the African laborers are the ones are getting, getting affected by this. But the company is still continuing. It is so sad to see this. It is so sad to see even when there's a quarrel, there's a misunderstanding within the company. It is always the African people facing the consequences of their bosses not understanding each other. And this is so bad. It is so bad on your own land. Can you imagine? Don't you remember in South Africa where we had miners being trapped for more than 3 days and being kept without food and water underground when there was a quarrel or there was a misunderstanding within the company? This is so sad. Africans, it is up to us to take the matters into our hands. At this time, I just tell you, it is the time we take the matters into our hands, because we have waited for long. We have waited for long. But anyway, moving away from that, I mentioned about the Kenyan government withdrawing its troop from Congo, and it has already started, and I'm so happy about this because one, we were never asked about sending troops to Congo, and by the fact that these troops have been there for the longest time and we have not seen any impact, any positive impact, it means that they were there to do something else, not something to help Congo. But an East African region force has begun withdrawing from the troubled Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, and the troops were first deployed in the region in November last year at the request of the Congolese government in the hope of containing the resurgent M23 rebel group. But Kinshasa has since criticized the East African force as ineffective and has refused to renew its mandates. Yes, it is ineffective. For how long have we seen Congo at war? For more than 2 decades. How long has the Kenyan troop been there? For quite some long time. How effective was it? Not effective at all. We have people dying right, left, and center. We have people getting raped. We have women and young girls getting raped in that country, while we are saying that we have the Kenyan troop over there to keep peace. So tell me how effective was the mission? So ineffective. And it was not even worth having the Kenyan troop in Congo. And this is why I'm saying it is so great that they are withdrawing, because we never saw peace come back to Congo when they went there. They have been there for the longest time. We never saw peace coming back to Congo. We never had that there's even a time a Kenyan army is trying to fight the M23 rebel group. We've never had that. And probably they were working together with the Rwandese army. And we know very well we have accusations of the Rwandan government funding the M23 rebel group. So there are so many questions to ask. Why wasn't the Kenyan army effective, or why wasn't the operation effective? Because it was not said to be effective. But anyway, 2 contingents, about 100 Kenyan soldiers, flew out of the airport in Goma, the capital of North Kivu province, early on Sunday. And the DR Congo is scheduled to hold a general election on 20th December. You know, I'm so glad that we are seeing this, because at the end of the day, why did you go there? You went there on a peacekeeping mission. What have you attained? You are coming back, but what have you attained? You know, that is a very big question. It is a very, very big question, because at the end of the day, you have probably been working with the wrong people, and this is why you have been there. Shout out to user John Molly. Thank you very much. And asante sana for joining us. Brianna, asante sana as well. Ajiba Jaba is asking, did you read about the rescue of Indian tunnel workers trapped for 40 days? I hope they got out too. Where is that article? I'd really love to read about it. I've never read about it, Jiba Jaba, but I'd really love to read it. Where is it? Where can I find it? Maybe our Zambian people will come out, and I'm hoping I'm on the positive side, and I'm hoping they will come out alive, because we are hoping for the best, and they are not the illegal ones there. They might be illegal miners, but they are under somebody. They have a boss. They are working for somebody. But I see Jiba Jaba is saying, why doesn't Kenya send those 100 soldiers to close down the illegal mine? They don't do that. They won't do that. But they will always go where they are not wanted. They don't do that. They won't. Jiba Jaba, even in Kenya, we are dealing with insecurity. Why don't they maintain security and safety of the Kenyan civilians first, and then go somewhere else? You know, this is how you know this was a mission. And of course, it is always the UN-backed missions. But I see John Muli saying, hi, beautiful girl, mambo, poa sana, show iko sawa. Thank you very much. And also you're saying, Jiba Jaba, you're saying, I'll post the article. Okay, thank you very much. And I'll be waiting for the article. But at the end of the day, I'm talking about now the Kenyan troops are withdrawing from the Congo. And this is a good move. And this is what should have been done for the longest time, way back before, or way before, way back. This is what should have been done, because the troop being there has not been effective. So why were you there at first? What have you attained? You have been there for some years. What have you attained as the troops? Maybe that was not your mission. Peacekeeping was not your mission, and maybe you are there for some other reasons. Because if you are there for some reasons, we would be saying that we had this and this and this happening. We had them fighting with the M23 rebel, and it happened. Did it happen? Have you ever heard any reports? No, we haven't. We haven't. But anyway, Jiba Jaba, you're saying we call it that a backward behavior, saving others before your own. Yeah, it is crazy. I believe it is crazy. It is always crazy with African people. You want to go, even we saw it was during Ruto's presidency when he got in. It was during the first 6 months. We saw him sending food to Ethiopia, while in Kenya we had people dying of hunger. Imagine, he sent food, or he called it aid, to Ethiopia, and it was Somalia or Ethiopia, if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we saw people receiving the food, of which it's very good. It's a very good gesture. But why would you leave your own people dying right here and sending aid to other countries? It doesn't make sense. You send food to Somalia, leaving your own people starving to death. It's so sad. But anyway, family, we are coming to the end of our show for today. Asanteni sana for keeping it the Blackout Fire Network. Thank you to all those who interacted with me. Thank you, General Mosquito, Jiba Jaba, Derek Askew, and to the rest of the silent listeners who have been with us on the radio station. Asanteni sana once again. I hope you did get to enjoy our conversation of the day. And also, we are looking forward to Woke African nations, because we are getting tired of seeing things going astray, or seeing things going crazily. Right now we are talking about illegal mining that is being conducted by a foreigner, but when African people get trapped over there, we we see now African people are the ones on the wrong and they are the ones losing their lives. But anyway, family, see you later on the Rhythm Scoop Show. Shout out to Felix Otieno. He's saying a show imeweza. Thank you very much, Felix. And to all those who have been with me. Kwaherini, I'll get to leave you with this jam. This is the one we were listening to. And the jam is a bossy. Get to jam onto it and remember to come back on the Rhythm Scoop Show.
Greetings and salutations, Max. Here's Andrew Robinson, all the way in Switzerland. And you're tuning into the Black Fire Radio. And you're listening to African Diary Show.
Lakini sitalia mauchungu wanasema tight boss mnoma Slim King but buzz imenona nazidi kuspiti tabidi barakoa jufile na wakili mimsika corona roho ya simba so mini na winda aminia jini tashinda familia mini talinda nikikosa wifi ni mimi na tinda juzi tu niliachwa na linda kisha ndinda akadinda nimesare hii mambo ya rinda najua hata ringa day nitabai dinga Tylo son of a soldier, boy line on a soda. Oda chumini